evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to Facebook Live of year 2025. It is the 22nd of January. This is our second Facebook Live of the month. So welcome. And let me welcome our panel today. We have Lakshmi here, who is one of our session leaders on a workshop. She does mantra chanting and leads a meditation group on Tuesdays. So if anybody's interested, please contact Lakshmi. Good evening, Lakshmi. Thank you for joining. Grateful for your help and support. And then we have Patricia here. Good evening, Patricia, who's part of our core group of meditators. Good evening. And then Sri Lakshmi has joined us from India. Good evening, Sri Lakshmi. Good to have you after a very, very long time. It's very heartwarming to see you here. So in one of the groups, I saw this question, Lakshmi and Patricia. The person asked, is nostalgia a manifestation of the pain body? Having brought up 3 wonderful children, married to a soulmate for 48 years before losing her to cancer and now living alone, I have frequent experience of desire to go back to the good old days. With hindsight, I realized just how good were those days, and they have become bittersweet. Objects, memories, people can all trigger these feelings, and they're very strong. I go inward and observe them. They do soften temporarily, but then come back just as vividly as before. Reading pages 29-33 of The Power of Now suggests this may be the pain body. How do I process these feelings? Do I need to be more patient? So that's the question. And I will try and put it in the Zoom chat. Let me see if I can get to this chat. Actually, no, I'm not able to get to the chat. So I'm going to put it on the, let me see if I can copy it. So did y'all get the question, Lakshmi? Did you want to comment about it? Let me see if I.
Yeah, I unmuted myself. Yes, I got the question. I am really sorry for the loss and grief that he is going through. Yes, I definitely think that it is pain body. Everything body keeps a score. So right now, his body is constantly reminding him that this present moment, you shouldn't be staying. You should go back to the past constantly, because that monkey mind either takes us to the past or future constantly. So his inability to stay in the present moment is because of his pain body. And it is the pain of abandonment that he is going through. Instead of counting the blessings that he had such wonderful time with, he's calling her his soulmate. So how many people even have that in their life? So instead of counting the blessings and staying in the present moment, his mind is constantly taking him back to the past. And so my 2 cents would be for him to Eckhart gives all these little suggestions as to how we can bring our mind back to present moment and stay in the present moment. So one is inner body awareness. So he can, every time he feels that he is going again back to the past, he can focus on one of the body parts, either on a thumb or whatever body part that he chooses, and feel that inner aliveness in the body. And also feel the pulse and see that, you're not really doing anything for that heart, which is beating 100,000 times a day. so many things are happening in your body for which you actually are not really doing anything. Your breath is happening, so you can even slow down and focus on that breathing. And also, Eckhart's most famous thing, which I have told so many people, is to be like that cat. Like, if the cat sees a rat coming out through that hole, all its focus will be on that hole, because anytime that mouse or rat may come and then it'll just pounce. So we can become like that cat. And then again, the thought, if you are so aware, no thought should come. But so if his thoughts are bothering him, he should just say that I am right now going to be like a cat and watch what my next thought is going to be. And at that point, all thoughts will stop, because awareness is the light, thought is the darkness. And more because negative energy always has this momentum, you give your power away by thinking about the past. Oh, the past was so good, and right now I am being miserable because I see around me everybody is just so happy, and I am the one who is grieving, and I'm the one not happy. So that is the monkey mind. So which is gaining that momentum the more and more time you spend on it, like a day, month, years, and then it just drives your life. So it takes the driver's seat. So break that momentum by watching your thoughts like a cat. And all these little suggestions of how to come back to the present moment. You can even give your pain body a name. That has helped me a lot. So anytime I feel that, okay, the pain body has taken over, I realize that, okay, he is back again. So every time you become more and more aware of your pain body, and it keeps on shrinking. It won't stay so big. It keeps on shrinking, and you will realize pretty soon that you are mostly in the present moment and not going back to the past. Because I can tell from my own experience, when I began this process of, this was 15 years ago, I would count how many times in a day I was going into the past. And slowly, as I became more and more aware, that count started dropping. So you can keep a count on how many times you're going into the past. And believe me, your count will drop the more aware you become. So that is my 2 cents. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Eternally grateful for the input and guidance. Yeah, I like the guidance that you give about the inner body. Eckhart is a huge proponent of inner body meditation. Even when we watch the Doorways into Presence, leave alone Doorways into Presence, even during any of his retreats,
Right.
Kim Ming always has either one module of inner body meditation or something of that sort, or she's teaching in the in-person retreats, she's teaching presence to movement so that people can get into their bodies to movement, which is yoga and qigong mixed movements, so that people get into their inner body. So I kind of like, when I read that sentence that they had lost a partner after 48 years, what came into my mind, I think it is Eckhart's webcast with Oprah, A New Earth. Either it is chapter 3 or chapter 7 of when they were talking, when he was talking to Oprah, he was saying, when loss of this kind arises, it can be like, in this case, it's a loss of a partner, right? So something is getting taken away from us. When that something gets taken away, a void is created. a deep void, like a deep and a loss of a partner. Oh, it is and
And
our
for
deepest
48 years, that is understandable because that is a long time. Yeah.
right. So what he says is when that loss occurs, what we need to do is move into a state of surrender.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So all this, if our thinking mind is taking us, so what the thinking mind is doing is, I don't like the present moment because the present moment has the experience of grief,
Mhm.
because they need to experience the loss, right?
Yeah.
But there's grief. I don't want this present moment. So that's the job of the ego. It is always putting a band-aid on any what we call so-called negative
Mhm.
emotions. So it's
Yep.
going to try to put a band-aid on the grief, and the band-aid to the grief is, oh, remember when I was 20 years old, we went to France and
Mm.
this happened in France. Oh, remember when we were 30 years old, we
Yep.
went to that
What
Hawaii.
a memorable time that was. Yeah.
What a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the ego is trying to generate a fake joy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
A fake sense of, but that's anything that the ego generates. Ego knows it is on a platform of instability, right? It's impermanent.
Yeah.
So it arises, the joy will last for a second and it'll go away. We are back
Yeah.
to the grief, right?
Absolutely. Radical acceptance and radical surrender, like you told. Those are the two. Yeah.
So, so what Eckhart explains, and I can never forget, I watched that portion of it maybe 50 times. It's like etched in my head because, and that is what helped me as well when I went through my loss of, like I had to sell my house, right?
Mhm.
To,
Yeah.
I went through a financial crisis. I like immediately moved into a state of surrender. There was not a single, like how many people would go, oh, this is my house.
Mhm.
My son grew up here. How can I ever, my son and I had such beautiful memories in here. How can I ever lose this house? There was
Mhm.
nothing of that sort. There was an immediate, like,
Surrender.
sharp, okay, this is what it is, and this is what I need to do, and this is what I'm going to do, and move forward. And the reward of it, my son was like 13 or 14 at that time. One day when we moved into the apartment, we were just sitting on the bed watching TV or something. And then suddenly he turned around to me and he said, Mommy, I've learned from you that money can be made at any time. I was like shocked that he learned the lesson, right? That you can go through anything and still you can recover from
Bounce
it.
back.
You can rebound from it, right? So I would strongly recommend grow the and the other part to this is Dr. Joe Dispenza's progressive course where he's teaching getting into the generous present moment, right? He says our attention is constantly going in 50 different directions. Like we are in our WhatsApp, we are in our Facebook, we are in our YouTube, we are in our coworker. And then if something is getting taken away, which is in this case, it's the partner, that means how much energy am I getting back to myself to spend on myself? I have so much more time now to make my inward journey. Right?
Also, I really like Rupert Spira's video on death and loss, where he says, that it is our misinterpretation that we think that we have to go to India to see my mom, or to because they're all ultimately everybody is in your heart. Everybody, even when you think of them, so even when he was with his wife, she was in his heart. Even right now, when he doesn't have his wife, she is still in his heart. So
Yep.
that really helps me with grief. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not so much as heart. We have to realize that when we are experiencing something, it's not like we are experiencing the wife. Dr. Deepak Chopra explained it very well. Realize that I think even Sadhguru may have talked about this, that you're looking at something, it's making an image in your eyes, right? It's in your retina, and then your consciousness is what is experiencing it. Whether it is your dog, your partner, your whoever,
Right.
it's your consciousness that is experiencing it. That experience cannot be taken away. It's your soul is going to pass away with all these experiences. This is why the soul was born. This was its purpose, is to grow, to expand, to take the memory is getting written, like at the energetic level. Our soul is taking all these memories back and feeding it back. Like Carolyn May says, right? It's like a supercomputer. Like if we have the archetype of a vulnerable child, then we are feeding back to the supercomputer, which is recording what is the experience of a wounded child, or what is our experience of a prostitute archetype, right? All that is being fed back, so our soul is going to take it back. So just experience it, that okay, I had a beautiful experience with this partner for 48 years. Now that experience is ended, and now let me honor their life, right?
Right.
The other part to this is a lot of people, I really, really wish people would stop taking death as sadness. I really wish that people would take it as a celebration, that that soul. I really this is the time that look at all the Facebook lives that April has done about the soul contract, that soul came in, that this was their soul contract, that they would be here for the 48-year life.
Yes.
And they would, their soul contract ended and they passed away, and then they're going to go on to another journey, right? And the fact that they returned, where they returned to, is infinite love. Why would you take that away from them? Why would you want that physical body still here, suffering this earth, right? So celebrate that life, that it is not suffering the pain and suffering what is being caused by this body. With that, let me go to Patricia. Patricia, do you want to say something? Thank you, Lakshmi. Grateful.
Thank you. That's a very powerful share. And we all experience losses, and I think a lot of us go to the pain, like the actual pain, that what we didn't want. Here, it's the situation that the past was actually better. But I agree with Lakshmi and Poonam that it's that being in the present moment is where we need to be. So the avoidance of present moment, the thinking that it's not good enough, is what the ego is trying to tell us, because it's losing its power here. So gratitude, I would believe in instant gratitude, whatever the feelings, however they coming up, realize that this is you feeling them in the present moment. And we are here on earth as a consciousness to experience everything. And that's what I heard too from Sadhguru, that he experienced different feelings, but who is experiencing them? That's what I also learned from Robert Spira, on whose behalf you're feeling that. And then when you concentrate on the who, then it's like magic. The feelings really are not as important as the consciousness of the awareness of the person or the spirit, the soul, that it's behind it. And what I do when I think of the past, either it's a good past or not that great, painful past, right now I'm very grateful. And if a person comes up, either living or deceased, that was dear to me, I just send them my love, because in the quantum field, everything is happening at the same time. So in the quantum field, the wife is still there, a soulmate. So everything is happening really simultaneously right now. So we can get in touch with that feeling. And Poonam said, yes, we generating it. And Sadhguru was talking about it in one of his videos, that when you start feeling love towards absolutely everything, then when you truly are in the present moment, and then you won't feel that loss or lack of that person. They will be with you because their energy is still here. So, and yeah, you'll be aligned with your own consciousness and awareness and love. So gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I would say just that little song that Lakshmi was posting once. Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. And thank you for pain. It's a wonderful day. So maybe that tune will bring you back to the present moment. And that's our abundance of all different feelings. And I know we like to only feel the good ones, but the bad ones, so-called negative ones, also have their purpose. Poonam always says about contrast. Yes, the contrast is given, but who is feeling this? You, now. Because past really doesn't exist anymore, and future, no, doesn't exist either yet. So yes, you just realizing you're experiencing everything in this moment and where your energy goes. So yes, it is time for something new, and everything wonderful that you experience is still here. So that's where you need to realize that, just smile and do something that makes you happy right now. Maybe it's just walking, nature, or talking to a friend, or just doing something, some yard work, whatever it is, making tea, reading a book, because you're not alone. None of us is. We are all one together in everything. So getting that, realizing that, it helps reach the peace with everything. So, and there's still 3 wonderful children. I don't know if you see them, or grandchildren maybe at this point. So there's, I'm sure, a lot of in the present moment things that you can be grateful for as well. And that's, your soul will be alive if you concentrate, if you focus your energy on what's here and instead of what's not here. And that's self-mastery. we can choose our thoughts. We can. So, and meditation helped tremendously. Dr. Jarrow meditations, sitting in stillness, like Eckhart says, with everything and being aware of the space. That's very important. But number one, just acknowledging it, which you're already doing, because I see, you know, you're aware, going inwards. So shedding the light on it, it will dissolve slowly, or maybe fast. I don't know. Everybody's different, but Rupert Spira also was. I love that comparison that Poonam once posted about stick drawings in the sand. That first time it's like the first wave takes it a little bit away, the second one more, and after 2-3 waves, there's no more drawing on the sand, and that's what we need to keep doing. Just letting it go little by little. Yes, that's an incredible experience. But again, it's, I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's what came out to me. So I'm very grateful for Lakshmi's and Poonam share and how they saw it, because I agree 100%. That's exactly how I would say. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Grateful for the input, insights, and wisdom. I love that you said something about love. It's weird. Let me see who this author is. Her name is, so for whatever reason today in the morning when I start to do when I wake up early in the morning to do meditation. So when I woke up like at 3:45 in the morning, I was like, what meditation do I want to do? And I was like, okay, let me do 1/2 of the center of the magnet. For whatever reason, I felt like getting into my heart. So the fact that you say something about love, and then in the evening, I went on YouTube while I was eating dinner. I was like, okay, what is this thing that I can listen to? And there was this person called Kimberly Snyder that talks about the whole. I have not finished. I'm like in. This is 15-20 more minutes of this conversation podcast that I need to listen to. But she was talking about, if anybody knows Yogananda Paramahamsa's teacher was Sri Yukteswar. And Sri Yukteswar wrote one single book. And she was explaining that whole book is about brain and heart coherence. And I think she wrote a derivative, just like how Marianne Williamson wrote a derivative of the A Course in Miracles, right? She wrote Return to Love. I think she wrote a book derived from Sri Yukteswar's teachings. And I was like, oh my God, there's like some kind of theme about like, how did I feel like getting into my heart first thing in the morning? And then in the evening, now I'm listening to this podcast that is talking about heart coherence. And there's a lot, like in a lot of the meditations, like in Dr. Joe's meditations, like Blessings of the Energy Center 8, Center of the Magnet, he says, this heart meditate. He doesn't say place your hand in Blessings of the Energy Center 8, but I know he wants us to get into our heart. So I always place my hands, like both hands like this, on my heart. And I sit for the first 8 minutes with my hands on my heart. The same thing with center of the magnet. And she was talking about how important that is. And I think I've read about that quite a bit, that if you put your hands on your heart, that starts a different kind of coherence. So that's a tip, like get into your heart to this person, because they're in their mind, not in their heart, right? So great tip, Patricia, about that. We need to feel that love, right? So thank you so much for that. So people online joined us. Josie joined us. Edith joined us. Hello, everyone. And then Wyatt joined us. And Wyatt said, when I place my identity in my thoughts and emotions at best, I only reinforced I was not enough. While I sought from others what I wasn't willing to do myself, doubling down, staying in survival mode through resistance to what was. So I guess that's a great, what Lakshmi was saying, right? Don't watch your thoughts. Be like the cat watching the mouse, or mouse hole, and don't get into your thoughts. So great tip from Wyatt. Let me see if anybody else says. Christina says, hello, good night, and blessings to all. Good evening, Christina. Thank you. Gracias, Christina. And then, so Wyatt said the same thing. Now I practice awareness, watching thoughts, emotions, and watching the watcher while breathing. Beautiful. I'm aware of the awareness. Thoughts,
So
emotions are the pain body.
Did we answer those two questions? How do I process these feelings, and do I need to be more patient? Did we answer, do you think? Do you feel that we covered? Just being present with the feelings, don't avoid them, right? Absolutely, unconditionally accept them. And about patience. So patience is...
It's not the question of, do I need to be more patient? It's more of, how am I going to not take myself away from the present moment? Because that's what's happening, right? We're going in the past. Stress is caused by not being here in the here and now. So by staying in the present moment, then I will dissolve the feelings, just like Lakshmi said, right? You said the same thing. And the Rupert Spira example that you were giving was, Rupert Spira, somebody asked, how do I let go of grief, right? And Rupert Spira said, it's like, imagine that there are those stick figure drawings in the sand on this beach. Just imagine that you drew a circle on the beach, or you wrote the word love, and see how the waves of the ocean come over that stick figure that you took, you had just drawn on the beach. The wave comes over, and when it passes, when it recedes, a little bit of it becomes fainter. Then again, another wave comes over the figure, and then it recedes, and then more of it disappears, right? So this wave that comes over, exactly like Lakshmi said, we have to allow the wave of consciousness to go over our pain body and recede it, like erase it, right? More consciousness. So the more meditation we do, the more they can take up Qigong. Kelly and Kelly teach Qigong. They have like a lot of workshops that they are offering and everything. I don't know if y'all have signed up for the workshops, but I think.
But your suggestion of putting your hands on your heart, because actually feeling your heartbeat, you can only feel it in the present moment. You can't feel it in the past and the future. So that brings you to the present moment, as well as breath. Yeah, and breathing exercises will take you back to the present moment instead of being in the past, letting the pain body feed on realizing that, oh, it was nice, but now it's not. It's that comparison, constant with the.
Exactly. So do you want to look at one of the gene keys real quick and see
I
what?
actually, yes, let's do it, because I actually, first thing in the morning tomorrow, I'm going to a conference for 2 days, industry conference. And what's happening for me is that very possibly 2 of my previous bosses will be there.
Okay.
And my current boss actually asked me like a week ago, so Patricia, how do you feel about seeing your previous bosses? And honestly, since he's asked that, I've been going back and forth. That it's showing up some memories, good, bad, and I'm testing myself. Do I really hold any regrets still? Do I really forgave, myself and them that it didn't work out? Or how is that? It's been just like up and down a little bit lately. So, but I finally stopped resisting. It's like, it's gonna come up, but I'm going them fresh, new. It's gonna be wonderful experience. I imagine myself, happy and stuff. So yes, but yeah, my pain body immediately is like, okay, now what you're gonna do is like, all this unpleasant, because it wasn't. I was resisting that the universe was telling me to move on for whatever reason, and I needed to find why. Why is it happening to me? That question, am I not good enough here? I did so much good stuff. It was that feeling. And then, yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. So I'm very curious what the gene key is.
We will
Consider.
not go in, since you said that and it's getting late. I want you
Yeah,
to
I
take
will be
rest.
dropping in 8 minutes. I'll be dropping in 8 minutes, around
Sure.
5. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Lakshmi. Before you drop, I know, let me see something. Summer asked this question. I don't know if you know anything about this, Lakshmi. Do you know anything about sleeping on grounding mats? Do they actually make a difference in your sleep? Is it a gimmick?
I actually was reading a lot of reviews saying that it has helped them. So um, I personally don't have one, but I still need to look more into that. I was looking into that grounding mats, thinking if I can gift it to somebody during Christmas season is when I was looking at that.
I got a book from my boss about earthing. It's called Earthing. And
Yeah.
they're talking about products like the mats, even on your desk, under your feet, or even the entire mattress that is that. Talking something about electrons and stuff. But honestly, I remember so clearly when Kelly, he said something that we are all in Earth's field. So we don't have to have anything grounding. We just have to be present, because we are still like we are walking on the earth, and it doesn't matter if we have surfaces of shoes or anything. We are still bathed, dipped in the field. So we are earth. So, but that's what I got from his point on that. But I did walk with my feet bare if I could, if it wasn't cold, still like summer, spring, fall, outside on the stones. But I think just doing that with consciousness, it was the conscious of doing that grounded me, not necessarily my bare feet. You know what I mean? Because I feel the same way doing what Eckhart says. If you just sit and you are aware of your hands or your feet, they don't have to be bare necessarily on the earth or stones to feel it. So you can still ground that way.
Right. So medical medium has this shot, right? Grounding shot. It's like juicing potato and something else. Like it's EMF and radiation shot, I think.
Yes, I
It's
did
grounding.
it. Parsley and potato and celery.
Right. So I feel that is sufficient for me to be grounded. I don't really need a grounding mat. So one of the things that, and we were just talking right before the Facebook Live, I was talking to Sri Lakshmi one-on-one. Somehow between Anthony Williams's diet and Dr. Joe Dispenza's teachings and meditations and Eckhart's teachings, I use my body to heal myself. I don't want, like, I'm not into these biohacking tools. I remember Kelly used to have this device that she would have, and even Kelly, both Kelly and Kelly would have this device that they would have on their chest that kind of like brought their vibrational level. It would create some kind of artificial vibration, right? I don't believe in those biohacking devices. Like I don't use crystals. I don't have any crystals anywhere, right? I mean, I don't use any biohacking things, right? Even though crystals are very natural to raise a vibration. I experience my vibrational frequency by myself, like raise my vibrational frequency. One, through my food. I eat like vegetables and fruits that are of the highest vibration. Even Dr. Deepak Chopra was doing like a little short video on how much quantum energy plant-based foods have, right? So, I mean, we eat so much raw food. Like today, I had my brain fueler smoothie in the morning. I had apples in the afternoon. I had cucumber. I had carrots. I mean, how much are we putting in our body that is grounding already? So I would say change some portion of, there's something very natural about how that plant process went through photosynthesis and processed its energy. When you're putting that, eating things from the ground, right? Like potatoes will ground you yourself. It's just that your diet does not have that kind of.
But even I remember one of the meditations years and years back that was oh my goodness, I'm having a senior moment. The teacher, mindfulness teacher, what's her name? She did meditation about belonging. I belong.
Eileen
Oh
Edwards.
my God, yes. I was like, oh my God, Eileen. Yes, and she was talking about we have all elements within us. How our spine is made out of crystals and the earth, right? So yes, we have all the grounding. Our body is the grounding tool. And but again, whatever works. I think that Dr. Joe is very right about placebo effect. Just people, if you believe that it's helping you, it will help you.
Yes.
That's basically it. But it's really not this helping you, it's your belief that it's helping you. not
So she says, does it really separate our red blood cells so they absorb more oxygen? My red blood cells are so highly this thing with all the cleansing that I do that I really know that they're absorbing oxygen without a grounding mat, right? So I don't really worry about how my physical body is just because of how much I take care of through my diet, right? So I don't have to worry about, oh, is my red blood cell doing this or red blood cell doing that.
body has its innate intelligence. We just have to get out of the way, right?
As Dr. Joe says, the power that made the body heals the body. Trust it. The more you believe, behave, become, the more the body will heal itself by itself, right?
We become a magnet itself, right? When we synchronize heart and brain. Yes, we become the magnet.
Okay, I think Lakshmi has to drop off. Let's close this Zoom as well. Sri Lakshmi, get well soon. Sending you lots of healing energies. Many blessings, everyone. Much love.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you so much.
fantastic week. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Much love. Bye.
Thank you.